All right, high rollers, another Q&A to bring your way, and we do the numbers game today. Darts, a perfect game for statistics. Our guest today is the perfect guy for darts, a darts statistician from the Netherlands. He loves the game and all the numbers that go with it. Bas Engelen at Premium Dart Data joins us at Premium Dart Data on Twitter. He also writes blogs for the Dutch darts website, mastercaller.ni. Bas, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being our high roller today.
Hi, Derek. Really nice to be on the show.
Well, it's really nice to have you. Now, we're going to talk a lot of stats. Before we do, though, what did you make of Gerwyn Price defending his title in Riesa at the International Darts Open? He is a polarizing figure indeed and brings his own brand of intensity to that stage. I say he's a must-watch, but not everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, first of all, really impressive that he defended his title. Not a lot of players can say that. I do have to say it's always a little bit tricky because Michael van Gerwen wasn't there. So, it's still impressive because he had a really difficult route to his title with Rob Cross in the final, of course. Yeah, but really impressive, like I said, and a fantastic job.
It's really interesting that you mentioned MVG there because whether he pulls out of a tournament or he's in a tournament and gets knocked out early, the whole field kind of says to itself, hey, maybe it's my turn to win, right? It really opens up once he's not there.
Yeah, it's really crazy because he isn't in his best form this year. But because of all the years of dominance in the PDC, the feeling still is there that when he's not around or not on the tournament, everybody thinks the opportunities are there for everyone. But it's not really fair to the top players to say Michael van Gerwen isn't there, so the best player didn't win. Far from that.
Yeah, absolutely. The standard is so high, it's evening out parity nowadays. But of course, MVG is still the man. Because you're in the Netherlands, I have to ask, I know he's the world number one, a legend, but Barney is too. Where do the two rate in terms of popularity in the Netherlands? Is it pretty close?
I think it's pretty close. I do think Barney still is the most popular player. And MVG, it's easy to say he has a big mouth. Most of the time he put his play where his mouth is. But not everyone enjoys it as much as they should, actually. So it's difficult to say who's most popular. I don't think one of the two pops out in that race.
Well, you have to appreciate the fine play of both. They're both legends. You talk about MVG's mouth. I think there's a lot of mind games going up there on that stage, and I think he's one of the best at it, probably.
Absolutely. He's especially when he gets punched in the face. I think it's the last Worlds when he played James Wilson, and James Wilson checked out 156 in one of the first legs, and he starts a leg with a 180 and follows it up with a 12 darter. He's one of the best in the game to do that.
Yeah, he's absolutely relentless. He has that cutthroat mentality. Now, your Twitter bio says, darts stats, darts trivia, live updates, and more, 180s, average checkout percentage. You know, a lot of sports are great for analyzing the numbers. Baseball in North America comes to mind, American football too. There's all these fantasy sports leagues. People love their stats, and darts seems to be right up there when it comes to a numbers game. It's got to be one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Mostly American sports are up for grabs for the statisticians. But darts is one of the few examples that is not an American sport, but does have a lot of stats. And a lot of people do want to know how the players do stats-wise.
How did you get into it all? You just loved the game and started doing the numbers?
Yeah, actually, that's about it. I started playing when I was 12 or 13. And 3 years later, I started playing in the competition in my hometown. And yeah, it really got to me. And of course, how old was I when Barney won? I think also 12 or 13, the embassy. And in 2015, I started up to old matches, and I really liked working in Excel. So I made a data sheet to keep track of players. And first it was just results and 180s and averages. And yeah, it got a little bit bigger. And I started making a data sheet for just one match so I can keep track of the scores. After that, I start tracking up the darts. So, and yeah, now I'm up there. And every darts game that's played by the PDC is in my database. I'm not really quitting.
Well, I tell you what, I love the work that you do. A lot of people are into the numbers game. I am not a numbers guy, but as darts has grown exponentially over the years, so too has the number of people who analyze the numbers. I mean, on Twitter right now, I'm a big fan of Wikipedia, Burton DeWitt, Carl Fletcher. You've got the Faria Darting Index, at the Redbit 180, Dartistic, 9 Darts Data, many, many more. Not to mention, of course, at Premium Dart Data. What's your take on how darts has grown in all aspects?
My feeling is that I started at the same moment as the Reddit and Wikipedia, and we were all very small, but we have a lot of advertisement because the PDC advertises for us. They have a lot of tournaments and they do a lot of social media, so a lot of people are on social media and follow the darts there. So guys like me and the other stat guys have free advertisement, and I have almost 3,000 followers. I don't really understand why at times, because sometimes it's not really that interesting, I think. But a lot of people confirm that it is, and that's very nice.
Well, I think you need 4,000 followers, and if you're a darts fan, you got to give them a follow at Premium Dart Data on Twitter. Now, you collect PDC darts data, as you mentioned, from all over the world. I am fascinated as to how you do that. I recently tweeted out that some of these statistical tidbits you put out must take hours to compute. You responded by saying 10,000 hours plus. I mean, that's a lot of work. How do you do it? How do you approach it?
Yeah, it's a rough estimate from when I started, but a lot of stats are online. So there's live darts data, and now the PDC has its own app where the dart scores are tracked. So I pull the dart stats from there, and the rest is from Dart Connect. Dart Connect is online since last season for all the floor tournaments from the PDC, so you can track down all the stats from there. And it takes a lot of time, that's true, but like I said, I started small, and it's getting a little bit bigger every day.
Well, we got to give a shout out to at Dart Connect, dartconnect.com. They've been on the show before, and they are great. They help me out a lot in a lot of these recaps I do. On Monday, you tweeted out that Single One has been the most used segment of the dartboard to bust a score this year, 74 times. Single 20 is second, 19 times. And then you asked which segment of the board is third on the list. Now, I got to tell you, man, I got a bone to pick with you because this cost me an hour and a half of my time trying to sort it out. It was a fun guessing game. I first guessed single 11 or single 14. You have 7 left or 5 left with one dart in hand. Instead of setting up double 2 or double 1, you just chuck it to the left-hand side of the board and bust. That wasn't correct. Then I thought maybe double 13 because double 4, double 6 is on either side.
Yep.
That wasn't correct. Then I thought, hey, maybe it's the treble 20, with 60, 56, or 52 left. You want that single, but it goes into the red pit. Now, before you give us the answer, how did I do on those guesses?
Yeah, the thinking was good. Let me say that. Because that's what actually happened. Players aim for a double, and the bigger number is next to it. So the thinking was correct, but you just had the segment wrong. And a lot of people did, so you weren't alone.
Yeah, you must have been very pleased with the amount of responses you had on this. This turned out to be a really good guessing game.
Yeah, well, I have some more for you today, so we can do some more later.
Okay, absolutely. But before we get to that, what is the correct answer?
Double 16.
And that's because they're going for double 8 or double 7?
Yeah, and the first dart, when they go for double 8, a lot of times players have to throw first on the double 16. So when it's in the double 16, they have a dart to aim at. And sometimes they pull it down, more often to the double 16 than double 11. Double 11 only busted 6 times. The players only busted 6 times on double 11 when they aim for double 8, but 18 times in double 16.
That's amazing. It was a really fun guessing game, so kudos to you on that. I enjoyed that. On that note, another fun one, you tweeted out that 40 score, double 20, has been busted 20 times in the PDC since the 2018 World Championships. Kyle Anderson, the first player to bust it on double 19, and I'm wondering how he did that.
And actually, he was the first player to bust a score with the double 19. So it was double unique. But he had 40 score left, and he started with single one and a second dart strained in double 19.
Wow.
Yeah, so he busted it with 2 darts.
Okay. All right. Some other fun stats. When a player starts a leg with a 180, I always see this, they start the leg with the 180, and sometimes they lose that leg. So does the 180 start increase a player's chances of winning that leg? My guess is yes, because it's the highest score, and that's got to help.
Absolutely true. I started keeping a track of this particular stat in 2017. And since the Masters of 2017, over 5,000 legs in the PDC, a player started with a maximum. I call it the maximum because sometimes a player starts with 177 or 174, so they are also in this database. When a player starts with a maximum, 71% of the times they also win the leg. And there's a difference between if it's their own leg or their opponent's leg. So when it's their own leg, in 83% of the times, the player wins the leg. And when it's the leg of the opponent, in 58% of the times, they win the leg. So, when you have to break a 180, it isn't always enough.
You know what, though? It does help. Puts the pressure on your opponent right away because you've scored the lot. They got to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. And to refer to my earlier answer on the win of Gavin Price, and I mentioned MVG, the reason why I also said it because, and I think the other statisticians can also agree with me, when you look at all the stats, MVG pops out everywhere on every stat. So the stat of starting a leg with a maximum, MVG tops this list by far. Number 2 on the list is Peter Wright. He started 273 legs with a maximum. And third is Rob Cross with 246. But MVG started the leg with a maximum in 456 legs. It's absolutely insane how much of the times he starts a leg with a maximum.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he just puts the pressure on from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think if he has the highest win percentage. Some players only, for example, I have the same stat. How often does a player win his leg when he starts with a maximum? Number 1 on my list is Robert Owen, but I only have 8 legs of him where he starts when he starts with a 180, with a maximum, and he won them all. So he's 100% on my list.
The stack attack.
Yeah, the stack attack. But MVG played a lot more legs, so I have a lot more data on him.
We're seeing more and more 9-darters these days as well. They happen with regularity, but does it win games or tournaments? This one I'm not sure about because while it is perfection, it's only one leg. So I'm not sure about the match, but it does suggest to me that if a player hits a 9-darter, that player is on form, which means it should increase his chances of winning outright.
Yeah, also true. And it gives your opponent a lot to think about. In my database, I have 307 9-darters with a match result. And 218 times the player wins the match, so that's 71%. And if you look at tournaments, I have 329 darters with tournament results, and their win percentages is only 66, so that's 21%. Phil Taylor and Michael Van Gerwen are the only 2 players that have thrown a 9-darter in the tournament and have won more than 2 tournaments. Michael Van Gerwen has 11 tournaments won with a 9-darter, and Phil Taylor 13.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
It is insane.
There are only 4 players that did it 2 times. Ted Evett, Gary Anderson, Carl Anderson, and Adrian Lewis. But nothing compared to those 2.
2 of the best of all time. The 2 best of all time. Let's be clear about that. I'll put Eric Bristow third. Now, when you talk about the 9-darter, as a fan, aside from a major tournament in a last leg shootout when they're having double trouble or a guy pins a ton plus, is there anything more exciting than a player going for that double on a 9-darter?
Yeah, it's easy to say yes, and I want to say yes, but I'm really thinking over. A 9-darter is still special. It happens a lot these days, and we know more about it because everyone covers the dart matches and they put it on social media. So we know it in a second when there's a 9-darter thrown in Asia. It happened this time and last year also. Maybe 5 years ago we didn't even hear about it. So I don't know if there are a lot more 9-darters thrown right now. I do think so, but I also think that it's more in the news.
When it comes to players who have had the most 9-darters thrown against them, it goes James Wade, then Barney, then Jamie Caven. 9-darters against them. Now, I'm not sure what that says, but I believe it might say that opponents are comfortable playing against them. Not sure.
Oh, they are really unlucky. I'm also not really sure. But it is brutal, especially for James Wade.
Scoring for show, doubles for dough. Everyone wants to leave their favorite. So, what is the most used checkout or double to win?
That's a good one. What do you think?
I would guess it's got to be either double 20, double 10, double 16, or double 8.
Yeah, they're all correct. The favorite double to win a game is tops, double 20, and then double 16, then double 8, and then double 10.
Okay, so I had them out of order, but I was right around the area.
Absolutely. And which double is used, not used most?
Okay. Let me guess, double 3.
Ooh, no, not even close.
Double...
There are 6 less favorite doubles.
Okay, let me try that again. I know this one. I made a mistake there. Double 17.
I know you know. Yes, ding, ding, ding. It happens only 2 times.
The only reason I know that is because there is a person on Twitter at double 17, and I know it's a rarity.
And double 17 is only has only won 2 games this year, and it happened by the same player.
Okay. MVG?
Yeah, that's correct. You're on fire.
I went with the percentages. He probably wins the most legs, so why not guess him? Okay, what about 100-plus checkouts missed on the double?
Which 100-plus checkout do you think is thrown most on?
Wow.
Of attempted most?
I'm going to say 116.
Ooh, no. It's pretty close. It's 1-1. Yeah, by far. 253 times. And the second is 100 with 185.
Okay, that makes sense. The 1-2-1 because of the 140s and such.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're nailing a lot more of these ton-plus checkouts these days, too, which are always exciting. Your pinned tweet runs down the highest averages from the 2019 World Match Play, an event Rob Cross won. But the power, Phil Taylor, owns that category. The legend that he is, he owns most categories, right?
Yeah, absolutely true. And I still think it's pretty amazing that he pops up so many times in the 100-plus averages, especially when you look at the boards they used in the time when he dropped them down, the big numbers. Yeah, nowadays players do much more for the sport, for the darts. They practice more. Dart Connect is there also to give averages from the floor, so you should think that a lot more big averages drop Phil out of the list. But that's not true all the times.
You also tweeted that Phil's name pops up 19 times in the 25 highest averages at the match play, 33 times in the top 50, 45 times in the top 75. He's played 107 matches at the match play, and 55 of his averages are in the top 100. I mean, this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like I said, also in the times that the boards weren't as good as now, and the treble was a little more smaller than nowadays.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, that guy was so sensational. Now, at Players' Championship 23 and 24, we had some monster averages too. Cross, the 114.2. Justin Pipe with a 112. It's amazing. Have you noticed any trends with the averages besides the fact they seem to be going up?
Yeah, funny you said Rob Cross. He had a 114.2 average. It's the 4th highest average this year thrown in the PDC. Also, when you look at all the floor tournaments, Challenge Tour, Development Tour, Nordic Baltic, CDC, DPA, it's the 4th highest average thrown this year.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, people talk about Rob Cross. I'm incredulous when I see it on Twitter. Some call him a fluke with the World Championship and the match play. I mean, come on, this guy is no fluke. He's absolutely a brilliant player.
Yeah, I fully agree. I still remember the match between him and MVG on the UK Open the first time we saw him on TV, and MVG was playing brilliantly that game, and he didn't flinch. He just played his own game first time on a big stage, and I was really impressed with it. And then first year on the Challenge Tour again, he dominated, and still nobody really knew him. He has shown us all that he is legit. So, the people that say that he's a phony or something like that, I think they really don't know what they're talking about.
You talk about averages on the Pro Tour, the Euro Tour, the Challenge Tour, Development Tour. I mean, even in Asia, the averages are going sky high. Lawrence Zalogan, Paul Lim, they're all putting up big numbers.
Yeah, absolutely true. They also show us that there is a lot of talent, not only in Europe, but also in Asia. And also the players in the CDC show us that there is a lot of talent. Because Rob Cross did throw the fourth highest average this weekend, but I thought it was Danny Baggish in the CDC that also thrown an 112 average.
Danny Baggish, that's impressive. I mean, he's doing well these days.
Yeah, and I didn't knew him before this weekend, so he did make an impression.
Yeah, and he made an impression at the North American Darts Championship as well, where he absolutely dominated. Now, when it comes to money and darts, you tweeted out the Euro Tour Order of Merit Lifetime. Two things I noticed there. One, the disparity between first and second, between MVG and Peter Wright. And two, there's money to be made in darts these days. Some impressive numbers on that list, and it just proves maybe why the standard's so high, that if you put in the practice time, you can sort of rise the ranks and make a true living in this game.
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah, the gap between Michael Vergeuren and Peter Wright is insane. The gap between Peter Wright and number 3 Mensur Suljovic is also pretty big. MVG is on over 900,000 pounds, and Peter Wright is close to 400,000, and Mensur is on 265. So the differences are big, but the difference between Michael and Peter is insane. But Michael had some crazy years. This is his worst year since 2014, to be fair. But still, he won 135,000 pounds already this year. So he's doing well.
Yeah, I think he's doing well, right?
Best year was 2018, and he won 207,000. And that's more than some players will earn in the lifetime of darts.
Yeah, and this money you're talking about, just the Euro Tour, correct?
Yeah, only the Euro Tour. Yeah.
Okay.
We do have to mention that the players these days earn a lot more for winning a tournament. When they win a tournament now, they earn £25,000. When they won it in the first year, in 2012, it was only £15,000. So that's only for first place, but the same goes for going into round 2 or 3. So nowadays, players, they do earn more.
Before we talk about mastercaller.ni, you write blogs for that website. Do you have any other fun trivia, fun stats, anything to leave us with?
I might have a fun fact. Let me have a second here. Maybe it's a fun fact. Which player missed most match darts in 2019 and lost the game? So it is really nice to lose a game when you miss match darts. I think it was Wayne Jones this year on the Worlds against Devin Peterson when he missed 6 match darts and lost the game. But there's one player that is number 1 on the list, and he missed 31 match darts this year and lost his game. And I will say one thing: it wasn't Andrew Gilding. He missed most match darts this year in a game. He missed 9 against Chris Dobie in the Austrian Darts Open.
So the player with the most missed match darts this year, 31.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is, folks. I want your answers, and let's see if we can get this answer out there quick and easy. Before we let you go, as I ran down your Twitter last night and this morning, it was all stats until I saw something about Dirk van Dijvenbode, the dancing gif. Are you a fan of this guy or what?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a great player. He has difficulty pulling a big results in, but he still is out there, and his walk-ons are legendary. I don't know anyone that doesn't like him. He does some commentating sometimes on the Dutch television, especially around the Worlds. And he's a really nice guy to hear him talk about darts and his thoughts about other players. But I think I can say that about almost every player that I see on television talking about other players. But Dirk is a really nice guy.
Yeah, and you gotta love that walk-on, right?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I've seen it also in some demonstration tournaments or matches, and everyone loves it, especially here in Holland and in Germany. They understand the music, or they know the music, so that's appreciated a lot.
Well, on that note, you look at Super Chin with Sweet Caroline. Darts these days seems to be more about just than averages and scores and wins. Each player, Snakebite with the outfit, everybody seems to be developing their own brand. I mean, it's big business these days.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. I hope the players, but also the people responsible for the business of players, do understand that is necessary. People need entertainment. Darts alone isn't enough. So it's good that players are taking darts to the next level, professionally-wise, but they don't have to forget that people come to look at them also to be entertained. So I hope the walk-on songs and the characters on stage are still here in a few years.
Mastercaller.ni. Tell us about that. You write blogs.
Yeah, I write blogs. For every big tournament, I write a blog. About things I want to say, actually. And it's put there out in Dutch, so it's not it's not there for everyone. But it's really fun. Yeah.
And this is the blog of a Dutch darts commentator. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a website from Jacques Nieuwelaat, and he's known here in Holland because he does the commentating on the channel that broadcasts the darts.
Well, keep up the good work, my friend. I've really enjoyed this. At Premium Dart Data, Boss England. Boss, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, man. Keep those stats coming.
You're welcome. Thanks to you.